Imagine for a second a man who can literally tear through his enemies with razor-sharp adamantium claws 1 minute, and then, without even skipping a beat, belt out a soaring Broadway show tune that brings an entire theater to its feet. It sounds like two completely different people, right? Like, we are talking about two actors with totally different careers, but that's the absolute magic of Hugh Jackman. You guys won't believe how this one man managed to conquer two diametrically opposed worlds in Hollywood simultaneously. It is a jaw-dropping contrast that has shaken the industry to its core for decades. One moment he is the rugged, animalistic Wolverine, dripping with intensity and grit, and the next, he's the sparkling, top-hat-wearing showman who owns the stage with a wink and a smile. How did he do it? How did he become the guy everyone wants in their high-octane superhero blockbuster and their highbrow musical theater production? The secret behind this incredible versatility is something the entire industry is currently obsessed with. Everyone in Hollywood is talking about his range like it's some kind of superpower. And honestly, looking at his career, it kind of is. This obsession has reached a fever pitch recently. Especially with his massive earth-shaking return to the big screen in the latest Marvel blockbusters. People are losing their minds seeing him back in action, especially now that he's finally rocking that iconic comic-accurate yellow and blue suit. He looks more fit and energized than actors who are half his age, and the buzz on the street is that he hasn't lost a single step. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. It's truly wild to think about how he balances these personas, but it all comes down to a level of dedication that is almost scary to witness from the outside. If we take a quick trip down memory lane, it's hard to remember a time when he wasn't a household name, but think back to the late 90s. Back then, if you mentioned the name Hugh Jackman, most people would just give you a blank stare and ask, "Who is that?" He was just another talented kid from Australia with a dream and a background in musical theater, but then, almost overnight, he became him. You know, the guy. He went from being a relative unknown in the global scene to being the face of an entire cinematic era. It was an explosive rise that left critics and fans wondering where this powerhouse had been hiding all along. He didn't just join Hollywood, he kicked the door down and made himself at home. And then there's the shocking truth about his legendary training. The whispers floating around Hollywood gyms and movie sets are enough to make your jaw drop. Rumors say his discipline is bordering on superhuman, and honestly, the results speak for themselves. Is it true that he underwent a physical transformation so intense that it would literally break most younger actors? The stories of him waking up at 4 a.m. to hit the iron, followed by a diet that sounds more like a full-time job than a meal plan, are everywhere. This isn't just about looking good for a shirtless scene. It's about a transformation that requires a level of mental toughness that very few people possess. Why is it that some actors can only do one thing well, while Hugh manages to win Tonys and Emmys and break box office records all at once? He's the ultimate triple threat mystery. He can act, he can sing, and he can dance with the very best in the business. He's the darling of the highbrow theater world while simultaneously being the king of the summer popcorn flick. It's a rare feat that has most of his peers scratching their heads in total envy. Lately, you can't even scroll through your social media feed without seeing a viral clip of his recent performances. Whether it's a behind-the-scenes look at his grueling rehearsals, or a snippet of him charming an audience on a talk show, everyone is asking, is there anything this man can't do? His journey has been a massive evolution. From the humble stages of Australian musical theater to the highest paid ranks of Hollywood's elite. But wait, because there is a massive what if hanging over his entire legacy, there was a near disaster that almost stopped his career before it even started. Did you know that Hugh wasn't actually the first choice to play his most famous role? There was another actor, Doug Ray Scott, who was already set to play the Clawed Mutant. If a certain filming delay hadn't happened on another project, the Hugh Jackman we know today might never have existed. Can you imagine a world where someone else was Wolverine? It almost happened, and the story of how he got the part is just the beginning. To understand how close we came to never seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, we have to look at the massive drama involving Doug Ray Scott. At the time, Doug Ray was the rising star everyone in Hollywood wanted, and he was already locked in to play the Clawed Mutant. But the industry has a funny way of shifting the pieces on the the board when you least expect it. Doug Ray was filming Mission Impossible 2 with Tom Cruise, and the production went way over schedule. This nightmare created a sudden vacancy for the role of Logan, leading to a frantic search for a new lead. Imagine the panic in the casting office. They needed a replacement fast. That's when a tall, unknown Australian stepped onto the set for an audition that would change cinematic history. He wasn't the first choice or a big name, but the moment he put on those claws, everything clicked. Doug Ray Scott's loss became the world's gain, launching an iconic casting story that fans still talk about today. Before he was snapping claws, Hugh was just a kid in Sydney with a passion most didn't understand. Was he destined for greatness or just a theater kid with a dream? Growing up, Hugh wasn't the brooding loner we see on screen. He was a vibrant performer, diving into local theater and musical productions with incredible enthusiasm. He polished his craft on stage, learning how to command an audience with his voice and presence. This foundation in Australian theater gave him a secret edge. He wasn't just an actor trying to look tough for a lens. He was a trained performer who understood the rhythm of a scene and the soul of a character. After the massive success of X-Men, most actors would have played it safe, taking every action role to cash in on the hype. But not Hugh. He did something that had his agents and managers sweating. He went from playing a violent mutant straight into a high-stakes romantic comedy like Kate and Leopold. Can you imagine the risk? One minute he's slicing bad guys, and the next he's a charming, time-traveling duke in modern New York. His team probably thought he was crazy for risking his action star image so early, but Hugh knew something they didn't. He knew that if he didn't break that tough guy mold immediately, he'd be trapped in it forever. This desire to keep everyone guessing led him back to his first love, the stage. Even as an A-list star, he didn't turn his back on theater. He shocked everyone by heading to Broadway for The Boy from Oz. Why would a man making millions in blockbusters do the exhausting routine of 8 live shows a week? Simple. Hugh is Broadway royalty at his core. He didn't do it for the money. He did it for the pure joy of performance. Winning a Tony Award proved his talent wasn't just movie magic and editing, he was the real deal. Beyond the talent, there's his nicest man in Hollywood reputation. Usually, when someone is that nice, people look for a catch. Is it a PR stunt? If so, it's the most consistent performance ever. Every co-star and fan has a story about his genuine kindness. This wholesome image makes his fake rivalry with Ryan Reynolds even better. Their public banter is internet legend and a stroke of marketing genius. Whether mocking each other's movies or fighting on social media, this rivalry keeps them both at the center of the cultural conversation. It shows a side of Hugh that's playful and self-deprecating. Throughout the fame and the fake feuds, Hugh maintained a stable personal life. A rarity in Hollywood. His long-term marriage and commitment to values shaped how the public sees him. He isn't a tabloid fixture for scandals. He's a grounded human being who happens to be an icon. But don't let the nice guy persona fool you. The work isn't easy. The physical toll of playing Wolverine is something fans can't fathom. The rumors about his preparation are legendary. We are talking about extreme dehydration protocols to make his muscles pop on camera, and those infamous 4 a.m. workouts that would leave professional athletes exhausted. He would go days without water just for a single shirtless scene. As he got older, the strain on his body reached a breaking point he kept hidden. The physical transformation evidence we have seen lately is nothing short of supernatural, especially when you consider that he is now navigating his mid-50s. Most actors at this stage of their careers are looking for comfortable roles in quiet dramas, but Hugh is still hitting the gym with a ferocity that would terrify a professional athlete. The juicy details of his superhero prep are legendary among fitness enthusiasts. We are talking about a staggering 8,000 calories a day, consisting mostly of steamed fish, chicken, and greens, consumed with a level of discipline that borders on the obsessive. He has openly shared the mental toll it takes to maintain that level of vascularity, mentioning how he often has to fast or severely dehydrate himself for 48 hours just to ensure every muscle fiber pops for a single shirtless shot. It is a grueling, exhausting cycle, yet he does it with a smile, proving that his commitment to the fans is stronger than any physical pain. Speaking of the fans, the reaction on social media when he finally stepped onto a film set in the iconic yellow and blue suit was nothing short of a digital meltdown. For over 20 years, the internet had been begging to see the comic-accurate version of Wolverine, and many had given up hope after the emotional finale of his previous solo outing. When those first set photos leaked, showing him walking alongside Ryan Reynolds, the collective roar of approval from the global community was deafening. It wasn't just about the suit, it was about the realization that Hugh wasn't done with us yet. It took 2 decades to give the audience what they truly wanted, and the wait only made the payoff that much sweeter. This return wasn't just a gimmick. It was a celebration of a character that has become synonymous with his very identity. But we can't talk about his legacy without analyzing the daring risks he took outside of the Marvel universe. His performance in Les Miserables remains a landmark moment in cinematic history. While most movie musicals rely on the safety of pre-recorded studio tracks, Hugh insisted on singing every single note live on set. He wanted the audience to feel the raw, guttural exhaustion of Jean Valjean, even if it meant his voice sounded ragged and worn. Did he prove the doubters wrong? Absolutely. He walked away with an Oscar nomination and the respect of the entire industry. His co-stars, including major Hollywood heavyweights, frequently speak about his incredible stamina during those filming sessions, describing him as a leader who kept the entire production grounded while performing some of the most difficult vocal pieces ever written for the stage. Of course, every time he says he is officially done with Wolverine, the rumors of a final performance start swirling again. It has become a bit of a running joke among his peers and fans. Is he coming back purely for the love of the craft? Or is the paycheck from a massive Disney blockbuster simply too big to ignore? In reality, it is likely a bit of both. While the financial rewards are astronomical, there is a visible spark in his eyes whenever he talks about Logan. He understands that this character changed his life, and his fake rivalry with Ryan Reynolds has provided the perfect narrative excuse to keep the claws sharp. It's clear that as long as there is a story worth telling, he will find a way to make it happen. Today, even the most cynical highbrow critics have finally come around to respecting him as a serious dramatic powerhouse. Films like The Prisoners and The Sun showed a side of his acting range that goes far beyond physical stunts and musical numbers. He has become the ultimate blueprint for every modern actor trying to balance artistic integrity with commercial success. He is proof that you don't have to choose between winning Tonys on Broadway and breaking box office records in a superhero cape. You can quite literally do it all if you have the work ethic of a machine and the heart of a showman. So, what does the future hold for the man who has already conquered every corner of the entertainment world? Will he take over a brand new franchise? Or is he headed back to New York for a permanent Broadway residency that will cement his status as a stage legend? Whatever he decides, the Jackman legacy is already secure. He has redefined the expectations for what a leading man can be, blending vulnerability with strength and grace with grit. But now I have to ask you, which version of Hugh do you love more? Is it the feral, claw-wielding mutant who fights for justice? Or is it the singing sensation who can hold a theater in the palm of his hand? It's a tough choice, but that's the beauty of his career. The most versatile and exciting chapter of his life might actually be starting right now, and we are all just lucky to have a